thing we're going to work on today is a little bit of recall. I have a 9-foot-ish lead here, so I'm going to have, it's kind of a long lead. It's not really super long. Usually long leads are about 15 to 30 feet.
Something important about this lead to note. It doesn't have a loop at the end where it's held. This is so that if or when I drop it in an exercise, the loop will not get caught on things. This is for the dog's safety as well as good leash communication. If the dog is running towards me and is stopped and the leash getting caught on the ground, that can be very unpleasant. They might attach that jerking stop to their recall.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for her to be good and distracted, which is pretty much now, and then I'm going to start running away backwards and see if I can get her to follow me, and then she'll get a treat when she catches me. I'm not going to use a recall word yet because I'm not positive that she's going to follow me. I'll have to see how much noise I have to make. Yeah, good girl. So not much noise, that's great. So follows me, gets a treat, which is good. We'll come back.
The reason I run backwards is so that Nikita has something interesting to run towards. If I'm just standing there doing nothing, then it isn't very interesting and she might not want to come to me. If, however, I'm moving away from her and making noise, then it's a more interesting place to be. In recall, we're calling our dogs away from something that's interesting. It only makes sense that in return we make ourselves interesting for them to come to.
We'll let her get distracted. I want to have a little bit of lead here, and then don't want it to be super tense. Come back, good. And then I'm gonna start moving away. Yes, good girl. And she gets a treat when she gets to my side. So the next time I'm gonna put a recall word on it because I feel pretty confident that she is going to come to me when I say that. Get distracted. And then here we go. Nikita, come, good girl. And she gets a treat.
The reason I let the lead go tight is that I've established in previous sessions with Nikita that leash tension means look at me. This is not a necessary step, but you can see that once the leash goes tight, she will look at me, and I can start to run backwards and call her name. This just makes redirecting her focus away from distractions easier, and gives me a good opportunity to call her when she turns her focus to me.
I'll take the long lead up so she doesn't get tangled, and we'll do it again. Lead drops. Nikita, come, good girl. And I'm not pulling on the lead. I am pulling initially, I'm stopping, it reaches the end here. It's stop, I say her name, attention, Nikita, come! And then the lead is pretty loose as she runs towards me. Good, and gets her reward, which is good. And the most important thing in this exercise is now she gets to go back to doing whatever she wanted to do over here. I'm not stopping her, and I'm not making her end play. We're not going inside. What it is fun. You follow me, you chase me a little bit, you get a reward, then you get to go do whatever you want.
I'd like to add that this is the case in recall exercises, but does not have to be the case every time. Eventually, you're going to have to call your dog away from something or end play. It benefits the exercise to let them return to what they were doing or interested in so that they do not form a negative association with the act of recall, like ending the fun or being leashed up. The more we can establish that recall is a normal and fun word or game, then the more likely your dog is going to come to you when they hear their recall word.
Hi, come. Good girl. Good girl. And so later on, when I feel more confident that she's going to stay in this general area, because it's not a fenced scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, good girl, come, I'm going to drop the lead, and then I'm going to run further away, and I'm going to incorporate a collar grab in there, because I want recall to end with me touching the collar. And I can actually do that. Come, good girl, I can touch the collar here, and then she gets a reward. And what I want that to do is I want to make sure that she understands that when she comes to me, collar grab is just something that happens. I touch her collar at the end of recall, and then she gets a reward, and then she probably gets to go. Because if we're calling her to come to us, I don't want her to be going, ugh, I don't want to end the play. Ugh, I'm not really sure why you're grabbing at my collar. I just want it to be a normal thing. That way, if we have to grab it in an emergency, like a skunk or a porcupine or a really gross piece of garbage, she's not going to go, ooh, what did I do wrong? Or, ooh, this is the end of the play. This is just, status quo. This is what always happens.
So this is another game I play with one of my day training clients. And it is recall, but it's establishing again that it doesn't mean end of play, that there is more of a game going on, it's more fun. And so he's proficient in a wait, so what I do is I put him in a wait, and then when I reach the end or far enough, I call him, which happens right here. He runs to me, and when he touches the ball, I'm able to touch his collar, and then I throw the ball for him. So it shows that he comes to me, and then he gets what he wants, which is the ball. So something that's probably going to happen is that your dog is going to get real distracted and not want to come back to you. And this is the reason for the lead. You only want to call once, but you do have a connection to them so that they can't fail. When you say come, they need to come. And so you can kind of reel them in on the leash. You just want to be using the lead more for safety and more for communication than you are for reeling them in. Because if you're pulling them in every single time, then it's going to be unpleasant and they're not going to like it. So you can use it to grab their attention. You can make it so that they can't get away or can't fail completely, so that they do end up coming to you just because they don't run away from you. But you don't want to be pulling them in the whole time, because if you're pulling and dragging them towards you, it's not really worth it for them. They're having an unpleasant time versus the good fun time that they should be having. So make it worth their while when you're running backwards away from them, and make sure the treats are worthwhile too. But at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that you're not pulling your dog towards you. You want it to be their choice and be rewarding them for their good choices.